Hi everyone, welcome to our channel SkillNest Academy. Today we are going to understand one of the most powerful concepts behind modern AI, that is large language models, also called LLM. If you have used tools like ChatGPT, Gemini AI, Claude AI, you might have thought, how is it able to understand my question and response like a human? Is it really understanding or just predicting? So in this session, I'll explain everything step by step from basics to how it actually works in a very simple and practical way. So even if you are a beginner, you will clearly understand. Let's get started. Let's begin with the most basic question. What exactly is an LLM? LLM is an AI system trained on a very large amount of text data so that it can understand and generate human like language. Now let's break this down clearly. First, why large? Because the model is trained on huge data sets like books, websites, articles, and many other sources, and internally it has millions or even billions of parameters. Second, language. This means the model is specialized in working with human language, understanding sentences, answering questions, writing content, and even having conversations. Third is model. This is very important. The model is not storing answers like a database, instead, it learns pattern. So when you ask something, it doesn't search for the answer. It predicts what should come next based on the pattern. For example, if we give input like the sky is, the model predicts blue. But it's not because it remembers this exact sentence, it's because it has seen similar patterns many times during training. So it understands that sky is usually associated with blue. So the key idea is LLM equal to pattern prediction system trained on massive text data. Now let's understand how this model learns. This is where things get interesting. There are three main stages. First is data collection. The model is trained using huge amounts of text data. This includes books, articles, websites, code. But the data is not directly used. It is cleaned, filtered, and prepared. Because if bad data is used, the model will learn wrong things. Second comes training. This is the main learning phase. The model is trained to predict the next word. Let's take an example. If we give input like I am going to the model tries to get what comes next. It might predict market, office, school. Now, initially, it may guess wrong, but over time, it improves. It keeps repeating this process millions or billions of times. So, gradually, it learns grammar, sentence structure, context, relationship between words. Third is fine tuning. After basic training, humans help refine the model. They check responses and guide it. For example, which answer is better, which answer is safer, which answer is more useful. So the model becomes more aligned with human expectation. So overall, learning equal to data plus repetition plus human feedback. Let's understand how the model understands full sentences. When we read a sentence, we don't just read word by word. We understand relationship between words. The model also works in a similar way. For example, if we take a sentence like the cat sat on the mat because it was tired. Here the word it refers to cat. Now, how does the model understand this? It looks at all words in the sentence and finds connections. It identifies which words are related to each other. This concept is called attention. It means the model gives importance to certain words while understanding a sentence. So instead of just reading in a straight line, it looks at the entire sentence and builds connection. This helps it understand meaning more accurately. That's why it can handle complex sentences. Now let's understand how the model actually processes text internally. Computers cannot understand words directly. They only understand by numbers. So first step is tokenization, where text is broken into smaller parts called tokens. For example, we'll take a sentence, ChatGPT is amazing, may be broken into smaller pieces. Each token is then converted into a number. Now comes the embedding. This is where meaning is captured. Each token is represented as a set of numbers. These numbers represent the meaning of that word. For example, words like happy, joyful, and excited will have similar representation. So the model understands meaning based on how close these numbers are. So instead of working with words, the model works with numbers that represent meaning. This is a very important concept. Let's see how the model generates responses. This is the most important part. Step 1, you give input. Step 2, it converts input into tokens. Step 3, it predicts the next word. For example, if you type I like to watch, the model predicts possible next word like movies, TV, videos, then it selects one. After that, it repeats the process again. Word by word, it will build the sentence. Now, one important concept is temperature. Temperature controlled randomness. Low temperature, more accurate, safe answers. High temperature, more creative, but sometimes less accurate. So, depending on the use case, we adjust this. So, the full idea is the model builds answers step by step. Now let's see what LLMs can actually do. They can generate text like emails, blogs, reports. They can summarize long documents into short points. They can answer questions and explain concepts. They can translate languages also. They can help in coding, writing or fixing code. They can also have conversation. This is why they are used in chatbots, customer support, education, content creation. So LLMs are becoming very useful in many fields. Let's talk about prompting. This is very important. The quality of answer depends on how you ask. For example, if you ask explain AI, you get a basic answer. But if you ask explain AI in simple terms with real life example, you get a much better answer. So always be specific, give context, ask clearly. Now let's talk about the context window. The model can only remember a limited amount of text. So if the input is too long, it may forget earlier parts. So you need to structure your input properly. Now let's understand limitations. LLMs are powerful but not perfect. Sometimes they give a wrong answer confidently. This is called hallucination. They may not know recent information because training data has a cutoff. They do not truly understand like humans. They predict patterns. They can also reflect bias from training data. So we must use them carefully. Always verify important information. So understanding limitation is very important. So to summarize, LLMs learn from large amount of text. They predict the next word based on patterns. They understand relationship using attention. They convert words into numbers. They generate responses step by step, and they have limitations, so use them carefully. If you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe to SkillNest Academy and let me know in the comments what topic you want next. See you in the next video.